You say you want to be rich, but do you actually? Because if you look honestly at your actions, your daily decisions, your habits, the evidence suggests something completely different. And I know that is uncomfortable to hear, but stay with me, because understanding this one thing might be the most financially transformative moment of your life. Think about the last time you had an opportunity to do something differently with your money. Maybe you got a bonus and spent it instead of investing it. Maybe you had a chance to start something on the side but talked yourself out of it. Maybe you learned about a financial strategy that could genuinely help you, and then never implemented it. And you told yourself it was not the right time. You were too busy, too tired, too uncertain. But here is the question nobody asks. What if it was not timing or energy or uncertainty at all? What if some part of you, deep down, was deliberately choosing not to move forward? What if wealth itself feels threatening to you in ways you have never consciously examined? Because for millions of people, that is exactly what is happening. And they have absolutely no idea. Psychologists who study motivation and behavior consistently find that what people say they want and what they unconsciously pursue are often two completely different things. We are experts at telling ourselves stories about why we are not succeeding. Blaming the economy, blaming our circumstances, blaming bad timing. But underneath those stories, there are often deeply held fears and beliefs that are quietly steering us away from the very thing we claim to want most. And when it comes to wealth, those fears are more common and more powerful than most people ever realize. The first secret reason people avoid wealth is fear of identity loss. Wealth changes things. And one of the things it changes most dramatically is your identity and your relationships. If you grew up working class, becoming wealthy means becoming different from the people you love. Different from your family. Different from your oldest friends. Different from the community that shaped who you are. And that difference feels like betrayal. Like abandonment. Like you are leaving people behind to become someone unrecognizable. So unconsciously, you self-sabotage. You stay just successful enough to be comfortable, but never successful enough to feel truly separate from where you came from. This is not weakness. This is loyalty. Deep, powerful loyalty to the people and the identity that made you who you are. But here is the truth that loyalty deserves to hear. Becoming wealthy does not mean abandoning your roots. It means having the power to genuinely help the people and the places that matter to you. You cannot lift anyone else if you are stuck at the same level they are at. Now here is the fear that surprises people the most, because it sounds completely irrational until you feel it yourself. The second secret reason is fear of visibility and judgment. Wealth makes you visible, and visibility is terrifying for a lot of people. When you have money, people notice, people talk, people form opinions. Some admire you. Some resent you, some want things from you, some question whether you deserve it. And for people who grew up avoiding conflict, who were taught not to show off, who learned that standing out is dangerous, that visibility feels genuinely threatening. So they stay small financially, not because they cannot succeed, but because success feels like a target on their back. There is also the fear of judgment that comes specifically with wealth. The worry that people will think you changed, that you think you are better than everyone, that you forgot where you came from. And that fear is so powerful that some people would literally rather stay broke than risk being seen differently by the people whose opinions matter to them. Think about that for a moment. Staying broke to avoid judgment. That is how powerful this fear is. And the third reason is the one that lives deepest. The one most people will never admit even to themselves. The third secret reason is fear of responsibility. Wealth comes with weight. When you have money, you have decisions to make. Complex ones. What to do with it, how to protect it, how to grow it, who to trust with it, how to use it responsibly. And for people who grew up without financial education, that weight feels overwhelming. It feels easier to not have the money than to have it and not know what to do with it. There is also the responsibility that comes with being the financially successful person in your family and social circle. Suddenly everyone looks to you. Everyone has a need. Everyone expects you to have answers and solutions. And some people find that responsibility so exhausting to even imagine that their brain quietly steers them away from the wealth that would create it. This is not laziness. This is self-protection. But it is self-protection that is costing you your entire financial future. The fix starts with one honest question. What specifically am I afraid would change if I became wealthy? Write it down. Get specific. Because the fears that live in the dark are always more powerful than the ones brought into the light. Here is the most important thing I want you to hear today. Wanting to be rich and being afraid of being rich are not mutually exclusive. You can want it deeply and fear it deeply at the exact same time. Most people do. The difference between the people who build wealth and the people who do not is not that the wealthy have no fear. It is that they became conscious of their fear. They named it, they examined it, and they made a deliberate choice to move toward what they wanted anyway. Your fears around wealth are not a sign that you are broken. They are a sign that you are human. But they do not have to be the thing that writes your financial story. You get to write that. I want you to be honest with me in the comments. Which one of these 3 fears resonates most with you right now? Fear of identity loss, fear of visibility, or fear of responsibility? Just drop the number. 1, 2, or 3. No explanation needed, because naming it is always the first step to moving past it. Hit subscribe because every week we go deeper into the psychology and the truth behind money. I will see you there.